Now at 9, why Freeman Health System is moving its 988 crisis center to downtown Joplin. Plus, a federal judge makes a ruling on the constitutionality of the controversial Kansas Highway Patrol two-step technique.
The federal government and Texas clash over border policy. Now that battle is headed to court. I'm Caroline Shively in Washington. I'll have that story coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Dow Quick. Authorities have charged 2 suspects in connection with the police pursuit in Joplin Saturday night. They arrested 45-year-old Jamie Hodges of Joplin and 33-year-old Jade Udo of Miami, Oklahoma. Hodges is charged with multiple crimes, including first-degree tampering with a motor vehicle and resisting arrest. He also has 12 active warrants out of multiple counties, including Newton County, Jasper County, and Camden County. Udo is charged with second-degree tampering with a motor vehicle. She had city warrants with Webb City and Joplin. The incident happened around 7 p.m. Saturday south of Joplin. Authorities say they tried to stop a red pickup, but the pickup took off and police chased it for more than 20 minutes. Authorities were able to stop it with spike strips at Spurgeon and Gateway. The truck then drove a little further on its rims, which sparked a grass fire. The pickup was reported stolen out of Tulsa. A federal judge has ordered the Kansas Highway Patrol to stop using its infamous Kansas two-step technique. The practice involves troopers buying time during traffic stops to get a drug-sniffing dog to the location. The district court ruled the practice violates the Fourth Amendment. It said the KHB has, quote, waged war on motorists, especially out-of-state residents traveling between Colorado and Missouri on Federal Highway I-70 in Kansas, end quote. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy for a first look at the weather.
Well, it turned out to be a nice Monday for us today. We did have some scattered showers, mainly on the Missouri side earlier today, but temperatures starting to heat up a little bit more. 93 for a high, 91 is our average high, but pretty close to where we should be for this time of the year. Pretty calm, not much going on here. Any showers that were out there earlier, these are well gone off toward the south and to the east, so it's going to be pretty quiet as we go through the overnight hours tonight, but still warm. 84 in Nevada, 82 in Miami. Anderson is sitting at about 80. We have Yates Center checking in at about 84 degrees. We'll slide back through the 80s into the 70s. Overnight low right around 73, but we pop back to 86 by 10 a.m. In fact, our temperatures really warm up quite a bit more as we go through the next couple days. Of course, we're going to break that down for you here in just a bit.
Catch you then. A design firm hired to renovate the Walton Aquatic Center in Nevada, Missouri today presented concepts and information to the public. The Aquatic Center was built in 1978 and was renovated in 2004. In 2021, it was shut down early and has been closed since. Last year, Water's Edge Aquatic Design was hired to inspect the facility and led to the redesign of new renovations. Community members today were able to learn about those designs and give some input.
This needs to happen. A pool is a draw for a community. It's economic development. You got a pool, you have a destination. Kind of like a lot of the Parks and Rec. That's what we need Parks and Rec for. It's to help bring communities and families together.
The next step in the process will be for Water's Edge to present their designs to the Nevada City Council. If approved, the renovations would be expected to be completed by 2025. City of Pittsburgh is trying to update the definition of recreational equipment in the city code. KOAM's Amber Jenkins spoke to city officials about what they say is a needed change.
Since 1988, it's against Pittsburgh Code of Ordinances to live in a recreational equipment or vehicle within city limits. Officials say the city's current definition of recreational equipment is too vague.
All this is a simple amendment to some verbiage within that ordinance. We had defined recreational equipment, and this is just some specific verbiage that helps us define that.
The ordinance passed in 1988 defines recreational equipment as an item normally transported for use off the lot. The updated definition will clearly include tents, tarps, or any other material being used as a shelter to camp within city limits.
Without the portion of items such as tents, things like that. It never truly defined smaller items within recreational equipment, so it was left to be questioned whether within prosecution or within the police department, in situations where they might be addressing.
City officials say they plan to update this definition since June.
We've been saying, and we are not able to permit tent camping within the city limits of Pittsburgh. That is not changing. That won't change. We are just adding specific verbiage so that everyone understands recreational equipment is being defined to include tents.
The City Council vote is scheduled for Tuesday night's meeting. If approved, the new amendment will take effect immediately. Reporting in Pittsburgh, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
Now, there are some concerns in the community about how this could affect the homeless community. According to the city, this update of wording is not meant to target them. Freeman Health System is moving its 988 Crisis Center to downtown Joplin. The Crisis Center in Joplin has expanded into a larger role in downtown and added more staff in the past year. That allows more people in the community to receive the help they need.
To be on this side of town places us in the historic downtown area, where we know there are some shelters, and with transportation being a significant issue, it seems a little easier for people to find us at this location.
The center encourages anyone in need of help to dial 988. You can also walk into the new location at 305 Virginia Avenue. Part of U.S. Highway 69 in Lynn County, Kansas has been dedicated to a Pleasanton man. Walter Scott Brown served as an aviation machinist mate in the Navy. He was killed during the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor. Ribbon cutting was held to dedicate it to Brown. The Neosho, Missouri Arts Council is giving people a new way to experience the town's murals. They've launched a new Murals of Neosho guide and descriptive audio tour. The guide includes an interactive map to help people find the murals while also providing additional information. The audio tour will help enhance the experience of viewing the murals by providing more information mixed with historical and cultural narratives. They say you can access both the guide and audio tour through the Neosho Arts Council's website. Kids in Carthage were able to learn new musical theater skills at a summer theater camp. KOAM's Elise Noe has that story.
Kids in Carthage spent their day singing and dancing at the Stone's Throw Dinner Theater.
They have a little bit of jitters, maybe some stage fright, but that's what we work best with. So what we're doing today is we're going to learn our first song. They're doing some Mary Poppins music and some choreography.
The kids also played acting games and learned how to prepare for an audition.
So I want them to walk away today knowing what to do to prepare for auditions and then how to conduct themselves and do one independently on their own.
Happy to be here. I love these kids. It's a lot of fun, and getting to see the excitement that these kids have getting to be on stage and seeing all the cool props and everything like that, it definitely kind of warms your heart and makes me remember why I do theater with this.
The camp is a way to get kids involved in their community, make new friends, and learn new skills.
I find that the theater camps have really helped kids be able to build some of that confidence in that interaction with not only new people, but even with people in higher positions like adults.
The summer camp will be going on for 2 weeks, with today being the first day. So if you want to join, there's still time.
If something has come up or if you have a vacation going, part of the reason why I really wanted to extend this camp 2 weeks was because lives happen. And so we want people to still be able to participate without having to dedicate every single day to a specific performance.
At the end of the camp, the kids will get a chance to show off their new skills to friends and family. Reporting in Carthage, Elise Noe, KOAM News.
Again, that theater camp is going to run for 2 weeks at the Stone's Throw Theater. For information on registration, visit KOAMnewsnow.com. Coming up, we're going to have some tips to help make the transition from summer to school less stressful for students. A new study finds the quality of public schools in each of the 4 states in our area ranks in the bottom half of the nation. The rankings by Wallet Hub consider not only academic performance, but also such factors as class size, instructor credentials, and safety. In a ranking of all 50 states and Washington, D.C., Arkansas ranks 33rd. Missouri is just behind at 34th. Kansas ranks 39th, and the study ranks Oklahoma all the way down at 50th. By the way, the study determined the state with the best public education in the state by a wide margin is Massachusetts. Can you believe it's already the last full week of July? As August approaches, it's time to start thinking about heading back to school. Health experts say preparing now before classes start can help lessen the stress of a new school year. Mandy Gaither has more with a therapist on how to handle the summer to school transition.
As summer starts winding down, back to school mode gears up.
Kids are just like adults. They need preparation.
Strong for Life licensed therapist Jody Baumstein says to start now by gauging how children are feeling about the new school year, ask open-ended questions, and listen.
If we say something like, "Oh, are you nervous to go back to school?" Maybe they are, maybe they aren't, but now they might be overthinking what they actually feel or feeling like they need to respond in a certain way.
No matter what kids share, Baumstein says to validate and normalize their feelings, especially in times of change. She says getting back on track with habits and routines can help ease stress. For example, if bedtimes have gotten later over the summer, Baumstein says to inch the time back gradually.
Because if we set ourselves up from the beginning with something that's totally unrealistic, the kids aren't going to be really tired at that time. They might feel frustrated. You might feel frustrated.
And as everyone settles back into the school routine, Baumstein says to limit any unnecessary stressors.
Maybe you're redoing a room or starting to potty train a younger child. Maybe it can wait a week or two as we enter into the school year. It's really helpful to think about pressing pause on those things.
The global surge in food insecurity is having a direct impact on the mental health of young people. That's according to researchers in Canada who find children and adolescents who lack a nutritious diet due to finances are 74% more likely to visit an emergency room or hospital for anxiety or substance use disorder. That's compared to kids with adequate food supplies. Doug is next with a complete look at the forecast, and later the Riverton, Kansas High School hires a new softball coach with ties to the program as a player. We'll have details for you in sports.
Not a bad Monday for us today. A lot of clouds during the morning hours, sunshine during the afternoon, but it was a little bit hotter for us during the afternoon hours today. Nice shot. This is Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Clear skies, and that's pretty much what we are going to see as we go through the evening hours. Now, we've had sporadic or occasional scattered showers and thunderstorms, but we need more rain. Officially in Joplin, none today. 1.27 is where we stand for the month. Look at that. We're over 10 inches below where we should be for this time of the year. So we need rain. Unfortunately, we're getting kind of into that sector of the summer where we don't get a whole bunch of it. All right, 85 in Stockton, Grand Lakes 83, Anderson's 80. Pittsburgh is sitting at 81 degrees. We can go outside 7th and Rangeline, currently sitting at 84. Still feels like 89 or dew point. Humidity anytime is over 70 during the almost said winter months. It's not winter, summer months. It gets kind of sticky out there. All right, not a whole bunch going on for us. Any showers, any thunderstorms that were out there earlier today have raced off toward the south and to the east. So pretty quiet, meaning our weather is going to be quiet as we go through the overnight hours. We've been tracking this big dome of high pressure. It kind of worked back west over the weekend, cooled us down. Now it's heading back toward us and is going to get a little bit closer to us as we go through the next few days. And of course, that means the heat is going to be sticking around. Let's go a couple days where you see the magenta. That is afternoon highs, very warm across the entire Central Plains, keeps most of the thunderstorms up to our north. Let's go to Friday. The heat is still here. In fact, by the weekend, high pressure actually works in a little bit closer to us and keeps the heat sticking around for at least the next week. Let's go ahead and break it down for you. We're going to go through the overnight hours. We'll stop 7 a.m. Mid 70s if you're getting up early. We're going to get some mid and upper level clouds. Should be in the lower 90s by noon. Once we get into the afternoon hours, most of us near 100, Stockton, Joplin, Pittsburgh, Iola, upper 90s in our southern counties, but it's going to be hot. Tomorrow night, Could be an isolated shower. Try to get in here late tomorrow night into Wednesday morning. You can see a couple little tiny green blobs. Most of us are going to stay dry. Upper 70s. As we go into Wednesday afternoon, we break out. We see partly sunny skies, and we heat up again. Temperatures right around 100 degrees. So here's your day planner for you Tuesday. 76 in the morning, 92 by noon, 100 for your afternoon high. So it's going to be hot, hair dryer-ish, because it's going to be windy. We're going to have those southerly winds gusting 20 to 25. In fact, these pick up a little bit. We're going to have winds gusting near 30 by the time we head into Wednesday afternoon. So I don't know if the wind's going to help much at all, but at least a little bit of a breeze when it's this hot. 100 tomorrow, 102 on Wednesday, 102 on Thursday. I got very low chances for rain, just kind of hit and miss over the next week, but temperatures hang out near 100, if not a little bit above, over the next several days.
A lot of lawns and gardens are going to be parched without some help.
We need it.
You bet. Thanks, Doug. Public swimming pools are disappearing, and some specific groups could be affected the most because of it. A report says the number of public pools in the U.S. is shrinking right when it's needed most during this extreme heat. One Kentucky public official says overall mental health for some is impacted, and those from poor financial backgrounds have fewer options for public places in hot weather. Coming up, an important deadline in just over a week.
Hundreds of thousands of UPS workers set to go on strike at hubs like this one across the country. I'm Jeff Flock in Philadelphia, and I'll have the story coming up.
An August 1st deadline is looming for UPS and the Teamsters to deliver on a deal. Fox Business Network's Jeff Flock has more on what a strike could mean for workers and the economy.
Less than 1 week. I'm 100% ready if that's what we got to do. That's how long UPS and the Teamsters Union have to reach a labor deal for over 300,000 delivery workers, or else they're going on strike. Negotiations breaking down earlier this month and set to start again this week. So far, the delivery companies agreed to put air conditioning in new small package trucks after multiple drivers reported getting sick from the heat. Tentative agreements also reached to end forced overtime, along with a two-tiered wage system for weekend workers, and they're going to give employees the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday off. How many of you ready to do whatever it takes to get the contractors? But the company that raked in over $100 billion in revenue last year still hasn't met the union's demands for better wages, especially for part-timers who now make a minimum of about $16 an hour.
My families had to sacrifice. We had to worry about bringing this COVID-19 back to our families, being out there in the environment all day long.
UPS delivered more than 24 million packages a day last year, and the company said it would start training non-unionized workers to help handle the volume if there's a strike. Still, experts say a strike could cost the economy billions of dollars and would rock shipping logistics worldwide. But some workers say that's exactly the point, to show they are indispensable.
I want to strike. I want to prove to the UPS that we are worthy.
The two sides have until August 1st to come to a deal. The UPS hub in Philadelphia, I'm Jeff Flock with the Fox Business Network.
A federal judge has denied trucking giant Yellow's attempt to block a unionized strike that the company warns could cause it to plunge into bankruptcy. Yellow is one of the nation's largest freight carriers and employs roughly 30,000 workers. However, the Teamsters Union warned that it could strike after the company missed a pension and health care payment deadline for some of its 22,000 unionized workers. Stars from the ABC comedy Abbott Elementary joined striking actors at a rally in Philadelphia where the show is set. The Screen Actors Guild American Federation of Television and Radio Artists rally took place in Philadelphia's Love Park. Abbott Elementary's Cheryl Lee Ralph said it's not just about the big stars you're familiar with, it's about protecting the interests of performers who are not celebrities. Up next, we're going to learn how you can get your very own Barbie and Ken makeover if you're willing to spend some money. Barbie Girl isn't staying in the Barbie world, and neither is Ken. Long Island, New York plastic surgeon Dr. Scott Blyer is fixing up full-body human makeovers to look like the plastic world of Barbie and Ken. You can choose one of 3 body surgeries or 2 minor face surgeries, nails, hair, and more. Barbie goes for $120,000, Ken for $110,000. Yes, plastic surgery. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. New details are released on a boating incident this weekend on the Lake of the Ozarks that injured 8 people. Plus, the Department of Justice sues the state of Texas over its measures to prevent immigrants from crossing the Rio Grande. 8 people were injured when a boat crashed in Missouri's Lake of the Ozarks this weekend. 6 of those passengers were seriously hurt and 2 suffered moderate injuries, according to the crash report. Reporter Ania Henson has details.
Ethan Lee lives just feet away from the house that was hit during the crash and says his dad witnessed the moment it happened.
And as soon as we got home, my dad said, "Gosh, you got to go outside." There was like a big loud noise. We didn't know what it was.
Lee says he initially didn't see anything out of the ordinary, but within minutes, that changed.
There was just like a flood of ambulances and fire trucks, and we saw a bunch of water patrol coming from each direction.
The boat was removed from the home with a crane around 5 p.m. today and towed, with noticeable damage to its sides and grass stuck inside the engine. The driver of the boat, Adam Ramirez, was allegedly speeding when the boat struck the home, overturned, and ejected all 8 people on board.
Now, just in that house right behind me is where that crash happened. I'm told it happened on the side of the house. I'm told that they actually came around this corner over here. If I just pan pretty slowly, they came around this corner, and I'm told they actually were airlifted into the air from the speed that they were going, and that's when they crashed into that house over there. Travis Coleman with Towboat US says these crashes happen all too often.
To say the least. We see a lot of these types of groundings, usually on bare points, darker stretches of the lake, that sort of thing. But not really unusual with the enormous increase in boat traffic that we've had here over the last 2 years.
Coleman also says the injuries of the passengers were severe, but it was actually for the better.
The best thing that you can hope for is that you're ejected, because you don't want 15 or 20,000 pounds of boat to come down on top of you.
Investigators on Long Island, New York, continue to search the home of a suspected serial killer. Today, they were seen digging and excavating parts of Rex Heuermann's backyard in Massapequa Park. Heuermann has been accused in the murders of at least 3 women, and it's possible that some of the victims were killed at his home. Police have not said what, if any, evidence has been found there. President Biden is going to announce the creation of a new national monument to honor Emmett Till, the black teenager kidnapped, tortured, and then lynched in Mississippi back in 1955. Historians say his murder helped galvanize the civil rights movement. The president is expected to make his announcement tomorrow on what would have been Till's 82nd birthday. Texas is refusing to dismantle a floating barrier to deter illegal migrants from swimming to their state. And now the Justice Department is suing because they say the very construction of it breaks federal law. The Lone Star State's GOP governor says he had to do something because the federal government isn't doing enough, although the number of illegal crossings has actually gone down this summer. Fox's Caroline Shively reports from Washington.
The Justice Department gave Texas a Monday deadline to remove these buoys designed to deter illegal migration across the Rio Grande. Governor Greg Abbott responded directly to the White House in a letter writing, "Texas will see you in court, Mr. President." Dozens of congressional Democrats have called on the administration to block Abbott's border policies that they call dangerous. But Republicans maintain without danger, there is no deterrent.
I would much rather see not one person have to step 1 foot in that water because it is dangerous.
The chain of buoys is only 1,000 feet long, but it's part of the state's multi-billion-dollar operation to block illegal immigration that includes miles of barbed wire and thousands of National Guard members.
We have a marine barrier. We have concertina wire along the riverbank, boots on the ground, all the different types of signs and loudspeakers that broadcast a message that do not cross the river because it is dangerous.
But there's internal frustration, too, about these more aggressive border policies, with some officials complaining that water is withheld from migrants and kids are being injured by razor wire barriers. Just recently, a pregnant woman was caught on the wire and suffered a miscarriage.
The one person that is sowing chaos is Governor Abbott.
That's what he continues to do, political stunts in an inhumane way. He's making this more difficult. And so he's not operating in good faith here.
Border encounters last month dropped to the lowest level since February of 2021. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News.
A bit later, Twitter has a new name and a new look. We're going to break down the rebranding efforts.
Well, it was hot outside for us today, warmer than what we've seen over the past couple days as we start to warm up as we go through this week. In fact, it's still pretty warm out there right now. Case in point, 84 in Lamar. We have 78 in Monette, 82 in Veneta. Chanute is still sitting at 85 degrees. Let's go outside. Here's 7th year's range line, currently sitting at 84. Feels like 89. Visibility is good. Southerly winds at 10. In fact, those winds are going to pick up just a bit as we go through the next couple days. Let's go outside. We had a few showers in Missouri earlier today. Everybody looks good. Any of those showers, they're well gone all the way across the eastern third of the country. And of course, we've been talking about this over the past couple weeks because this is what we talk about in the summer months is our heat dome, our big dome of high pressure. The closer it gets to us, usually the hotter we get. It retreated over the weekend, but now it's moving back in, meaning here comes the heat once again. In fact, let's go through the week. You can see in the afternoons, the real bright colors showing us those hot temperatures. High pressure just kind of hangs in the eastern Rockies all week, so it continues to pump in the heat each day. Also, it keeps the monsoonal moisture and the little waves well to our north, meaning our chances for rain start to drop, which we also don't like to see this time of the year. As we head into the weekend, in fact, the high pressure actually moves closer, keeping that heat around. If we have any good news, we don't have a lot of humidity this week, so we're not going to have those real high heat indices, but it is going to be hot. All right, let's step through time. Let's go through the next 48 hours, starting mid-70s tomorrow. We get some mid and upper level clouds through the day. The sun's going to be peeking through, but we are going to have some upper level clouds. About 90 by the noon hour, and I think most of us near 100. Carthage 100, Pittsburgh 100, 97 for a high in Miami. Tomorrow night, clouds stick around. Can't rule out an isolated shower. So we're stopping on Wednesday morning. Isolated shower on Wednesday. Most of you stay dry. Near 90 again by the noon hour on Wednesday. And we're right back up, right around 100 degrees by the time Wednesday afternoon rolls around. All right, so here's your day planner tomorrow. 76 in the morning, 92 by noon. High temp right around 100 degrees during the afternoon hours. Also, the winds are going to pick up a bit. We're going to have the southerly winds gusting 20 to 25 tomorrow, but pushing 30 by Wednesday afternoon. So it's going to be a little bit on the breezy side. All right, let's go down the road. Does the heat break? Here's Thursday, right around 100. Let's go to Friday. Maybe some morning showers. Afternoon, right around 100. As we go into the weekend, maybe a shower or two. High temps right around 100. So no, the heat does not break all week long. 100 tomorrow, 102 Wednesday, 102 on Thursday. Very few hit and miss showers. 103 Friday, 104 Monday. Maybe cool 90s by next Wednesday and Thursday. Not even lower 90s, mid to upper 90s.
Oh yeah, the cool 98 degree temperatures next week.
Oh,
something to look forward to.
I guess.
Thanks, Doug. Coming up in sports, Missouri Southern and Pitt State travel to Kansas City tomorrow to kick off the 2023 football season. Plus, Riverton High School brings on a familiar face as its next softball head coach. John Dales has those stories and more coming up.
In spring 2017, Riverton High School laid claim to its second consecutive state championship in softball. And a big contributor on both of those teams was Taylor Compton, who continued her career at South Dakota State, then Pitt State, and now she's taking over the head coaching position at her alma mater. The high school announces this weekend that the former state champ will be the next head coach. And Compton says even in the early going, the support she's received plenty of support from everyone in Riverton.
I feel like I have a really strong sense of community support. I know that Coach Fuller is 30 minutes up the road, which is really just a great feeling to have, knowing that she's right there. Coach Mitchell, he's in my back corner, always there to help me out. The school board, we just got a new superintendent, Dr. Cooper, and so far he's been amazing, so really excited about him. But yes, the whole Riverton community is just really supportive of each other, and that's a great feeling to have.
Mink League playoffs begin tonight. Outlaws have the day off, though, because of winning their division, which means they await the winner of the South's wild card game. That game just about wrapping up right now between Sedalia and Jeff City. Looks like the Renegades will win and move on to tomorrow's divisional round. Now, Joplin and Jeff City, very familiar with each other. This would be the 9th meeting of the year between these two teams. Outlaws hold the season advantage 5-3. And for a more accurate understanding of the entire playoff picture, here's a look at the Mink League postseason bracket. Now, today's wild card games and tomorrow's divisional round, both one game, win or go home. But if the Outlaws do win tomorrow night, they'd move on to the championship, which is best 2 out of 3. We'll keep you updated on Joplin's playoff run as long as it lasts this week. And football season nearly here. In less than 24 hours, every team from the MIAA will take the stage at Kansas City to preview their 2023 season. Pitt State head coach Brian Wright, O-lineman Trace Jeffries, and safety Michael Lacey will speak at 1:15 tomorrow afternoon. Then Missouri Southern head coach Atiba Bradley, wideout Jaden Stoshak, and D-lineman Salamona Fatuau take the stage at 1:30. Stay tuned on mine and Brock Baldridge's Twitter and Facebook pages to hear from the Lions and the Gorillas. And rounding things out with Major League Baseball, we're a week away from the trade deadline. No major moves by the Cardinals or Royals, but both playing tonight. St. Louis on the road at Arizona. That one's still in the early stages. Adam Wainwright making his first start in 3 weeks. He's allowed 2 runs so far and on a limited pitch count coming back from injury. Probably will only see about another inning or so of action from him. Meanwhile, Royals wrapped things up a couple hours ago. They win on the road at Cleveland. Salvador Perez hits his 200th career home run in the victory, along with Michael Garcia going yard. Royals have now won 2 in a row over the Guardians. That's it for sports. We're back after this.
A major rebrand at Twitter. The social media platform is getting rid of its bird and replacing it with Elon Musk's favorite symbol. Fox Business Network's Kelly O'Grady has the story.
Twitter as we know it is no more. Elon Musk saying goodbye to the platform's iconic blue bird over the weekend and ushering in the new era of X.
He loves X. He owned the X.com domain in 2017, which he bought from PayPal back. He's launched Model X, SpaceX. He has a kid that starts with an X.
It's all part of a slew of changes on the platform that began last year when Musk bought Twitter for some $44 billion. In the past, Musk has said he wants to create an everything app, and this rebrand is part of that strategy. Twitter CEO Linda Yaccarino posted online that X would be, quote, the future state of unlimited interactivity, centered in audio, video, messaging, payments, banking. Some tech and media experts say the change may be a good idea. They say X will help with social media fatigue. Others, however, say this will likely confuse users and may end up killing the brand.
They're losing ultimately a lot of credibility that Twitter has built up over the last, 10, 15 years. And in the last few months.
As for users, many say they will wait and see before they cast final judgment.
I might just need to, slow down on Twitter and just watch it unfold into whatever it is supposed to be to deem it good or bad for me.
Twitter's iconic birds are still visible on the smartphone app, but many users are already seeing the X on their desktop version. As for tweets, according to Musk, they'll now be called X's. In Los Angeles, Kelly O'Grady, Fox Business.
Apple fans might be a bit disappointed this fall. Bloomberg reports Apple is considering raising the price of the next generation iPhone, the iPhone 15 Pro and the iPhone 15 Pro Max. Ever since the first model came out in 2007, the cost has gone up most years. However, during the pandemic, Apple did not raise its prices despite part shortages. Apple expects to keep iPhone 15 production steady this year and not cut back, even though demand could be softening. Coming up, we're going to check out how the blockbuster duo of Barbie and Oppenheimer did this weekend at the box office. Two highly anticipated films, Barbie and Oppenheimer, delivered one big weekend at the box office. Here's Fox's Ashley Dvorkin.
Hi, Barbie.
Hi, Ken.
This is the most important thing to ever happen in the history of the world.
The double feature of the summer scores the fourth biggest weekend of all time at the domestic box office. Barbenheimer, the Barbie and Oppenheimer same-day debut, banked big for both films. The #1 movie, Barbie, broke records at $162 million, making it the top-grossing film of the year. Margot Robbie stars as the iconic doll in a journey of self-discovery and self-empowerment by writer-director Greta Gerwig.
Just wanted to make a movie that sort of hugged people and said, you are worthy, you're okay, because I think there's just so much that people just bash themselves against unattainable standards.
Barbie is also now the biggest domestic box office opening for a female director.
And they won't understand it.
Christopher Nolan's biopic Oppenheimer with Cillian Murphy as J. Robert Oppenheimer is in second place.
It's just one of the great stories. And so what I've tried to do is harness that and give the audience the experience of what it must have been like to be Oppenheimer as he passed through all these crazy events.
The IMAX shot epic earned $82.4 million. The two original films were highly anticipated individually to start. Then, to add to the excitement, the Barbenheimer social media and movie-going trend emerged. The president and CEO of the National Association of Theater Owners called the turnout a phenomenal experience for people who love movies on the big screen, and a truly historic weekend, noting it proves once again that America loves going to the movies to see great films. Hi, Barbie. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
And that's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. We're going to leave you with video of animals enjoying cold treats at a Rome zoo. Let's make it a great tomorrow.